I get going live. So whether you're ready or not, we're live streaming. So welcome to the hot seat. I've got Cathy Ford here with me today, and we are going to be talking a little bit about where she started, how far she's come in a very short period of time, and then we're going to talk a little bit about future steps. So Cathy, welcome. It's so great to have you here and so nice to get to connect.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here and excited. This is the first time I've been on a live with someone else.
Yay! Sometimes doing everybody else is the easiest, especially when they're in charge, because you can just sit back and have fun.
Exactly.
So tell us a bit about you and your business, because you just told me you started your business only last August, correct?
Yeah, last year in August is when I launched it. Actually started with the idea in late June and launched it in August, and been working on it pretty steadily since then. And started it as a virtual assistant business, and I'm moving into doing coaching and training as well. I spent 20 years working in corporate America as a technology trainer and working on setting up technology for use in corporations.
So you are quite literally a tech guru.
I try to be.
Good to have in this group and good to know, because there are very few people I know who don't have tech issues at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I used to call myself tech challenged. I can't so much anymore because of the things that I've done, like, building my own website and launching a podcast. But there are days I want to take my laptop and throw it at the wall. So I know who to reach out to.
Yep.
So
I have those days too.
Okay, good. That makes me feel better. That really does. The cable guy, or our internet provider, came last week because there was some struggle with our internet, and he says, like, where do you keep the blah blah blah? And I looked at him like,
what?
Are you speaking English? Because that I have no idea. And he laughed at me, and he's like, basically where the I don't even know, the signal is coming in.
Uh-huh.
And it could be here. I don't know. I haven't seen it. What does it look like? And so he was laughing at me because I'm like, I really have no idea. I just know I want it to work and I can turn it on and off.
Yep. I had a similar experience at the mechanics with my truck. The guy came out and told me what was wrong with my truck and why it wouldn't start. And I was like, all right, now what's wrong with it? And another guy came up behind him and goes, oh, you know those things that you attach the jumper cables to? Yeah, they were painted and that's why it didn't start. And I'm like, why? Oh, okay.
It's like when doctors speak and you're like, okay, no. Break it down into layman's terms, please.
Yes.
A friend of mine who usually is the one to connect all my stuff, he'll
Sorry,
say,
my dog is whining.
Oh, that's okay. Oh, I know what that's like. He'll say things to me like, oh, well, all I did was put this cable into that. And he'll tell me about it. And I look at him and he's like, you're hearing the teacher from Charlie Brown, aren't you? I'm like, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Because I glaze over. One, because I just don't care to know, right? Mm-hmm. I don't need to know what you did. Just show me how to turn it on and make it work. So anyway, now I digress. But it's good to have you out there and to get it out that this is what you help people with, because we're in a time where we are totally reliant on our technology and how to do things.
Absolutely.
So, tell us about when you started and how that looked versus where you're at now.
Well, I launched my business and was greeted with resounding silence. And that was, I got a few, oh, good luck with that, from friends and family. And otherwise it was just like crickets. And so that kind of hit my confidence a little bit. But I kept working at it, kept watching lives, and taking classes and things like that. And little by little, I started making some headway, and finally signed to my first client a couple of months ago.
Awesome.
And yeah, and it just, things have started rolling. So my confidence started out about this big, and it's grown quite a bit since then.
Awesome. Which, I mean, I think every entrepreneur who starts kind of feels that way. You get excited because something lights you up and you decide this is the path I'm going to take. And then, yeah, it's like this resounding silence, which is the loudest thing you can ever hear, is that that first moment. And you're like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? Right. But this is what I tell clients that I work with. Don't listen to your friends and family, because if it was easy, they'd be doing it. And we're groomed to be in a job mentality. We are never groomed to be an entrepreneur or, to go out and be a business owner. It's just not taught in schools. It's not what
I know.
No. And so we have it set in our mind that that is what is socially acceptable. So when people aren't supportive of you, when you say, I'm going to start a business, it's because they don't know anything else.
Right.
So we can't let them influence our decision to do it because they don't know any better. So you persevered, obviously, and gained some traction, and now things are rolling, and you've got a group, a Facebook group, which is great. And I'm a part of that group. So how do you get your business out there? Like, what do you do to be visible online?
Well, I've joined lots of groups for entrepreneurial women. And then I've started making connections with women from those groups. And that's how I've gotten my first 2 contracts signed. And I'm also starting to do some coaching. And those clients have come from people in my group. And so I feel like I'm making some great progress.
Amazing. That's great. So let's take a look at how you're posting, and are you doing live videos? Are you doing things on a daily basis to get your face out there?
I am. Dropped off in the last couple of weeks because I got really busy, and got reminded by my coach, my business coach, that I need to be posting consistently and I need to be going live. And going live is the one thing that makes me the most nervous. And it shouldn't.
It does for everybody though, even for me. And I'm an actor. Like this should be something I revel in, but there's a little tiny bit of that niggling feeling of we're being judged, or what if we say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing or embarrass ourselves? Like there's all these things in our head that we self-talk that happens. So it's common, right? Everybody has that fear of that record button, and it's kind of like you always see all of a sudden somebody says, okay, we're rolling. And it's like the deer in headlights. But if they didn't know, they're like exuberant and fun and they have all this great energy. It's the minute they know that something is recording that they freeze up. So it's that instant that we've got to get past in order to be able to click that button and continue on. So if you plan your posts, right, and you're planning what you post and what you're putting out there and giving value and teaching people, doing lives is much of the same. It's just doing it like telling people versus typing it in a post and putting it out there, which I know feels much safer. We all feel safer behind a screen, right?
Right, because you can read it, 15 times and make sure there's no typos and no gaffes and like ums and uhs and things like that.
Absolutely. But in real life, we all talk with ums and ahs. So going live and doing that isn't a problem. We think it
Mhm.
is. We trip over ourselves thinking about it too much. But even if we had a conversation in a coffee shop, we all do it.
Mhm.
Uh what was I gonna say? Oh, right. You know that so it's just a natural part of our speech. So we can't let that trip us up.
Mhm.
And the more we do it and get used to doing lives, the less we do the ums and ahs, because it's that building the confidence, it's the talking on a regular basis that we stop thinking about what we're doing so much and just do it. We're in the moment and we do it. And all of a sudden those ahs and ums and those places that trip us up happen less and less. So my advice on that to anybody is to start small,
Mhm.
right? Don't think, oh, okay, I got to go on for okay, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Oh my gosh, I got to do 5 minutes. 5 minutes, really? What am I going to talk about for 5 minutes? Start small and just do little quick quips, 30 seconds. Hey, just
Mhm.
chiming in to say happy Wednesday. What is everybody doing in their week to make it a good week? How are you moving the needle forward? What tech is getting in your way? Let me know in the comments. Shoot me a message and let's see if we can get you moving forward this week. Done. Right?
Yeah,
Short,
that sounds
simple.
easy.
Yeah, think of it as a commercial because essentially going live is very much like your own commercials.
Mhm.
We need them because people need to see and hear you to figure out if they want to work with you
Right.
or if you're their person or she's interesting enough. I need to start following her and, secretly stalk her to see if she's my person. Some people take longer to buy in, but I always equate going live to commercials. How many times do we watch commercials and instantly we want pizza for dinner?
Mhm.
It's that enticing. So when we can go live and people can see us and hear us, they can connect to us. They can't connect so much to writing.
Right.
Not as much, not as well. I mean, there's power in that as well. But when they can see and hear you, they feel like they're getting to know you.
Mhm.
So if you think, once a week, I'm gonna I'm gonna do one commercial and think of it like a commercial. Plan it out, write it out if you feel better doing that. I know people who write out their stuff who've been doing it for years. Like they love going live, but they literally write word for word what they're going to say.
I've done that.
Yeah, there's lots of people who do.
Yeah,
I don't.
I've
I
done
never
that.
do, but that's because I like winging it. Um, not that I don't write notes for myself or bullet points, but like I know Jenna Kutcher and I love her. She plans out everything. That's her way of being in control. So she writes out everything she's going to say. But that's why her podcast and the times she presents, she's great because she has literally prepared and prepared and prepared and then more preparing,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So it's whatever is comfortable for you. And not everybody is the same, and that's fine. But the point of doing it is you want to show who you are,
Right.
show your personality, show your stuff, show them you're the expert, right? Make
Mhm.
them want to buy that juicy hamburger. But in your case, it's your services,
Right.
right? Make it enticing, dangle that carrot without throwing it at them, so to speak. Right. And
Okay.
sometimes I'll
Mhm.
do lives that are really nonsensical. They don't have anything to do with my business. They're just, you know what? Today was so beautiful. I couldn't help but go out. I know I've got work to do, but I felt, you know what, 20 minutes outside in the sun probably would do me some good to help me get all that stuff done.
Yep.
Right. And it's just
Mhm.
enough to say, look how beautiful it is in my area. Woohoo.
Mhm.
Or I'm being courageous today and I'm going zip lining. Look, here, I'll prove it. And
Right.
it's just a way to show our adventurous side, to show who we are, a peek behind the curtain, right? And a little something personal about us. We don't have to tell them our whole life story, but it gives people an idea of what lights you up, what excites you, what are you doing to continue on this journey of life. And then you throw in those tidbits of knowledge and the things that you know and the things that you help people with, then people are like, yeah, that's my person,
That
right?
makes
Because people
sense.
are going to connect to you as a person. That's how
Mhm.
we choose our doctors. That's how we choose our coaches, because something vibes. We vibe with them.
Mhm.
And we're like, a friend of mine just told me yesterday, her coach, she knew it was her person when she talked about being disorganized. And she's like, yeah, she's my person, right? Because she felt like she understood her. Um, and it had nothing to do with what she's coaching her on,
Right.
but she just thought, I can learn something from this person because she at least gets me.
Mhm. Mhm. I picked my business coach in much the same way.
Exactly. So
Mhm.
present yourself, be you. That's all you have to be, which is the easiest thing.
Yep.
We think it's easy. Sometimes it's actually harder than we make it sound, because people think they have to put on airs when they go online or on a live. So they feel like, okay, I must look proper. And I'd be like, look at my hair. I had to go pick up my mom at the hospital this morning. And I got literally enough time to hop on and start this. So I put my hair up in a messy bun this morning with the intent of looking better later. I didn't have time. Do I care? No, I don't. I showed up. And if somebody is bothered by my hair, they're not my person. Do you know what I mean? Uh,
Right.
I'm here. I'm real. Like anybody who has kids knows that too, right? You can have all the good intentions to have a shower, but sometimes it's not going to happen when you have kids running around the house and things happening, but you still got to show up.
Mhm.
So it's just really about being you, and like it or lump it, essentially. Not everybody's going to like it. Okay, they're not your people. But the more people start seeing your face, they start going, who is this Cathy woman? Why am I seeing her posts everywhere? Oh, look, she's doing another live, because Facebook also notifies all your people when you go live.
Mhm.
So the more you do it, the more people keep getting those notifications and go, wow, Cathy's doing awesome. She's like going live every day. Holy smokes. I need to check this out. What's she talking about? Does that sound doable?
It does. It does.
Right? Starting small and just be you. Talk about nonsense, ask questions, get people to answer.
Don't take myself so seriously.
Exactly. It feels, we get this sense like we have to be so business,
Mhm.
right? We need to be so corporate. But that actually repels people. They feel intimidated by that.
Mhm. Mhm.
Whereas when you feel like a real person with real struggles like they do, then they're like, yeah, she gets it. Right? She knows what it's like to wake up and throw her hair up and just get on with her day.
Mhm.
Such is life, right? And then there will be other days you have time, you put on makeup or do your hair nicely or something. And then people are like, oh, this is a different side of Cathy. Look at how great she looks today. Good for you, Kathy. Do you know what I mean? Like people start seeing all these different ways about you and realize, hey, she's a real person just like me.
Mhm.
And we connect. And that's the most important thing. It's connection.
Yep. Yep. So I
So
just gotta just do it.
just like Nike says,
Mm-hmm.
just do it.
Mm-hmm.
So moving forward, maybe plan a schedule for yourself. Like one day during the week are your live days so that you can mentally prepare for it. So let's say Thursdays are the days you're going to go live. Thursday at this time, I'm going to do a live once a week and I'm going to go on for 30 seconds. And you can even plan it out if you want in a schedule. This
Mm-hmm.
Thursday, I'm going to talk about the food I'm preparing for the weekend because it's a holiday weekend. This Thursday, I'm going to talk about tech issues with this program because that's coming up a lot for people. So let's address that. This one, right? And you plan it out
Mm-hmm.
so that you know what's coming. And then that way you're like, it's Thursday. What am I going to talk about today?
Right.
Eventually you'll be comfortable enough. You can wing it that way. And like, today I'm going to talk about my neighbor who keeps walking around without a shirt on. Okay. Um, so the more you plan, the more safe you'll feel
Mm-hmm.
and it's more attainable. Once that ball starts rolling and you commit to, let's say, a month or 8 weeks of doing it for 30 seconds to a minute, going live 1 week, prepare those 6 to 8 weeks. And then after the 8 weeks, go, okay, I survived. It didn't kill me. It was actually kind of enjoyable. What if I push myself and move it to a minute and a half, 90 seconds? I'm going to bump it up to 90 seconds. And then you start building that. And a great way to go live is with somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
right? Find people in your industry and go on and talk about something that you both have in common that you can discuss that is interesting because people are using, I don't know, a certain program, having troubles. Then it's not just you, you're sharing the stage with somebody and talking about something you know about.
Okay.
And then just keep it's like cooking, right? Keep adding a pinch of salt, taste it. Still needs a bit more. Put in some more, taste it. Okay, we're getting there. And keep moving forward that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as daunting as jumping in the deep end and hoping you swim.
Right. That makes complete sense.
So, why don't we plan your first one together?
Okay. Um, now I'm going blank on what I should talk about. Um, Probably just what a pretty day it is. And when I take my dog to the dog park, I'll do one there.
Awesome. People love animals. And as something, my roommate in university said this and it stuck with me. She's like, I don't trust people who don't like animals.
Yep.
And it like now I kind of know what she means, especially, having animals myself. I'm like, yeah, I can actually see why. So animal people resonate with animal people. So doing that is perfect because it's going to bring your kind of people out. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, she has a dog too. Me too. Everybody loves talking about their pets, right? It's like talking about your kids. So that's a great idea. So when do you think that you could do that? Like when are you going to the dog park next?
Uh, Later today, this afternoon.
That's awesome. You could do
Mm-hmm.
a live as early as later today.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And the thing is too, is that, I mean, you can start with your face on screen saying, hey, I'm at the dog park. Just, it's a beautiful day. Wanted to give you an idea of, what spring is like here in Northern California. And then turn the camera away from you, show the dog park. There's my little one running around. No, don't eat that. Right. And then done. It's so easy. And you don't even have to be the face of the whole video if you don't want to be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love it. I'm going to be waiting for that live, Cathy.
Okay.
I'm going to be waiting for it.
I will do it. I will do it.
Yay. I'm so excited for you. Another great thing too to do in your group is do like a question and answer. Go live and let them ask you questions and address those questions, because they're guiding what it is you're talking about. And you're just having a conversation saying, oh, you know what? Julie just asked about, I don't know, I can't even think of a recurring problem with all my tech problems. She just asked about blah, blah, blah. That's a really good question, Julie. I know there's probably many people who are having issues with Windows.
Doing Facebook Lives. I did a Zoom call with several members of the group where we talked about how to do a Facebook Live.
And I wasn't invited?
Oh, sure you were. Everybody was invited.
I didn't see that invitation. I get so many. It's hard for me to see all of them. But that's awesome. I'm glad people are talking about it.
Yeah, we talked about the technology of how to get a live going from both your phone and your desktop computer. So
see, we could do a live for you, and you could talk about the technological aspect of going live, and I can talk about the presentation skills needed for going live. Boom, there's one of your lives.
Yeah.
Because it didn't even occur to me that people wouldn't even know how to do a live. Right? Because I'm so focused on presentation of it and just getting on video and doing it. It didn't even occur to me, which it should, given my tech challenges, but that people are like, I don't even know how to do it. So that's a great thing. There may be people who want to do lives, but don't know how. They don't know how to get it started, or to do from Zoom to live streaming. I mean, that's just something I've learned recently. I even live streamed a concert of kids singing myself onto YouTube. I was very proud of myself. There were some tech issues at the beginning because it wasn't streaming, but I managed to get it working, and I was pretty chuffed with myself. There you go.
Nice.
And past students that I've had who have known my technology issues, like students when I was a school teacher, they're like, you did what? I'm like, I know. Turned over a new leaf, I tell you.
Yep.
Right? You can teach an old dog new tricks.
I used to do technology training, teaching people how to create websites in corporate training. And I would get nurses and medical assistants, people like that, to come in and say, oh, I'm tech challenged, I can't build a website. And I would tell them, you know what? I taught my 92-year-old grandmother how to check her email. I can teach you how to build a website.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
And then we would spend 8 hours building a website.
I should throw my mom at you, because if you can get her to do anything, then you can really use that to your advantage. My parents are they're worse than I am. And then they ask me questions. I'm like, it's the blind leading the blind. And they're PC users. I'm a Mac user. I'm like, I don't know how your computer works. I barely know how mine works.
Yeah, so, I provide tech support to my family until they buy a Mac. And then I tell them, sorry, you're on your own after
that. See, you're probably better capable of handling my parents than I am. So my mom's usually can you look up whatever this is and can you buy it for me on Amazon? I'm like, you can do that, right? Yeah, but I don't know how to, and I don't, it's too much bother. So then I end up ordering stuff for her. I'm like, you're taking away the joy of online shopping because you're not doing it.
Oh, I know. My mom used to tell me how tech challenged she was. And I mean, sometimes she would even call me in tears because something had gone wrong with some program that I had set up for her and she couldn't figure it out. And I'd walk her through it. And now she's retired and she's living down in Sun City, Arizona, and teaching computer classes to seniors. Yeah. It just cracks me up.
That's
I'm
amazing.
so proud of her.
Here's another topic for a live for you. Right?
Yeah.
For those people who think they can't or never will, never say never.
Yep.
Right? There are people doing it.
Mm-hmm.
If I get stuck, I call my 15-year-old niece.
Mm-hmm.
Because often she knows how to do things. I remember when I first started, I looked at her Instagram and I'm like, how do you have 1,800 followers? She's like, I don't know. What? Like, I was blown away. I couldn't believe
it's a muscle they've used since they were little kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as they got their first cell phone or computer and were able to get on and yeah.
It's scary. But they've grown up in the time when it was around. We grew up when it was just starting. I remember being in grade school and them having a computer club. And it was like DOS basic programming. He made a dog run across the screen.
My first computer was a Commodore 64.
Oh, yes. Yes, I believe that's what we used in school.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was only the library that had a computer, Even in university, not many people had their own computers.
Right.
At that, like when I was in university, so I would handwrite my essays. It's crazy if you think about it.
Yeah.
Especially
And
for the length of them.
did you take typing class on a typewriter?
Yes. In French, no less. I was in French immersion and in high school, as part of getting your French immersion certificate, you had to take typing in French.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. And then I lived in Italy for a bit and we had to take typing in that class. And I was in grade 12 when I was in Italy. And we had to take typing and their keyboard was completely different than ours.
Oh, yeah.
Totally messed me up. And so I had to learn their keyboard and then I had to relearn ours when I came back. But now
different
don't
language,
know how to
different
write.
alphabet.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it, right? And the importance of different letters in the Italian language versus ours. There's a reason why our letters are where they are because of the frequency of use. So it's the same in Italy, right? It changes based on the frequency. But it's amazing that we had to learn how to type, whereas kids today, it's just second nature because that's all they know. Now they actually have to physically learn to write if they want. They don't even know how to read cursive writing. So it's interesting to see this shift. But it just goes to show, like you explaining that story about, helping people to learn technology, no matter what age they are. Anything is possible. You just have to want to do it. Or you have, like sometimes need has a bit of that in it. Like I needed to learn certain things to be able to run a business online. And COVID made me do that. I ran my business for 20 years, not online. And all of a sudden COVID hit and I'm like, well, I can't do one-on-one face-to-face work with clients at the moment. So I guess I'm going to have to figure this online thing out. So this is why we have you in the world to help those of us old dogs who need to learn these new tricks.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very excited for you, Cathy, because going live is, I think, going to be a great experience for you. And you'll notice, you'll start to notice a difference. Your engagement will change. It may take a little bit because people won't recognize you going live right away. It's the same like when you first start. And then they start seeing your name pop up more and more. And then it's like, okay, let's go check this out. Or
Mm-hmm.
they happen to stumble on it and, listen. Oh, it's only 30 seconds. Let's hear what she has to say.
Okay.
And then build yourself up to longer.
Yep.
It's 11 minutes is what I'm told is when the algorithm changes for you. If you can do a live past 11 minutes, Facebook
Oh,
goes,
wow.
oh, this must be good stuff. This must be important. And they send it out to more people.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's good to know.
So make that a goal for your, but it doesn't have to be immediate. And just have fun with it.
I will. I
Have
will.
fun. I was so bad. I did not look to see if people were commenting, and we do. We have people commenting. I'm so sorry. CL said, "Hey, sister." Oh, Ranvig, we missed. I would like so much to join that live as I need to learn the technical things too. Then we need to connect you. You'll see her comment on this.
Okay.
So look at that. Already you've got somebody interested in learning from you. So
Fantastic.
thank you so much. Keep us posted as to how it's going. And I want to know how your lives start to shift and change your business for you.
Okay. I will keep you updated.
Excellent. Well, I'm excited for you, Cathy. And thank you so much for being brave enough to come into the hot seat.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Oops.